Planet Remix. And as we get ready to get into the cipher, I do want to let you know that it is Planet Remix, and a lot of times we cover adult content. So at this time, if you have anyone who's a minor, I would suggest that you put your headset on or get yourself in a place where you can enjoy your time on Planet Remix. But until then, put the babies out, do what you need to do so we can be responsible while knowing our magic. This show, this information, we dive into a lot of things that are adult content. And so therefore, if you are a minor, I want you to stop what you're doing right now, and I definitely want you to get your parent or your guardian's consent before diving into the remix. Well, enjoy. Enjoy the share. Yeah, and keep knowing your magic. We just gotta be responsible while growing up on planet Earth. Welcome on in. Oh my goodness. Welcome on in, Soul Family. Welcome on in. I'm going to take a few moments just to allow us to get a chance to get situated. I am in the spaceship at this time, and we're going to get ready to take off. But
I want to take a few moments just to kind of allow everyone to come on in and get themselves situated. I want to say welcome on in to the Remix, Planet Remix Radio. I am Ms.Blue, the Soulful Oracle, and I'm going to be your guide this evening. Because from here on out, nothing will be the same. We are about to enter into some galactic vibes that we have been attuning and preparing ourselves for many, many lifetimes. And now the time has arrived. So I want you to sit back, relax. I have my hydrogen water that is mixing itself here. And we're going to get into some things, as well as I'm also going to be taking questions from you. So peace and love, soul family. Welcome, welcome on in. It's back to the motherland. Welcome, welcome everyone on in. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Let's get those likes up. We got well over 122 people tuning in the Blue Room. We want to allow our soul family to be able to find us. So let's get those likes up so that they know that we are here and they can see the light. Oh, yeah. How we feeling? How's everybody doing? Oh, my goodness. I love it. Welcome on in. I see all of the superstars in the building, in the Blue Room. So good to have you. So good to see you. Shouts out to all of our international listeners that are tuning in from all over the world. Oh my goodness. Wow. 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 Shouts out to the producer and shouts out to the producer for that beat right there. We're going to make sure that everybody gets what they need here. Let's make sure. There we go. Peace and greetings, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome on in to Planet Remix Radio. Whew. Wow, what a ride. What a ride. We are just a couple hours away from this total solar lunar eclipse. The next time this alignment will happen, it'll be somewhere like the year 2044. And some of the other alignments will not happen within the next 300 plus years. Like, that's a long time. And if you understand about frequencies and vibration, you know right now what's happening is that we are putting things in motion. But I don't want to just speak for myself. I want to allow everyone to have the voice of the collective. But how many of you have been feeling over the course of the last 5 days? We've been talking about this for months and sort of kind of aligning ourselves for this energy. We have done tons of work of releasing and releasing and releasing and releasing. I mean, years and years and years of work of releasing, of letting go, of surrendering to finally get to this point where we are going to be moving forward. We're moving into the void. We're moving into the unknown. We are traveling, as Siba Haru would say, at a high rate of speed through the galaxy as interneterian scribes on a frontier voyage that what we are carrying with us is our goals, our dreams, our desires, our mission, our blueprint, and our tools. What an exciting time to be alive and growing up on planet Earth. What an exciting time. I know it doesn't always feel exciting. And even though right now we're in the midst of the dawn of, it's kind of like pregame, a pregame celebration. You know, if you ever participated in sports, and you all let me know about how you're feeling in the Blue Room. But if you've ever participated in sports or watched a sports event, there's a pregame celebration that usually occurs, but you want to be careful during the pregame because you didn't win yet. This is just to kind of get you hyped up. It's just to kind of get you moving. It's kind of, allowing you an opportunity to know that it is possible for you. But you don't want to get too cocky. You don't want to get too arrogant. You don't want to think you got this shit figured out. You don't want to feel like you have already won. But what you do want to embrace, what you do want to celebrate, is how far you have come. How far you have come. And what it took to get you to this point. What it took to get you where you are. And how that has truly changed who you are. And that person that you used to know, that person back there that might have been a little sad, a little broken, a little lost, a little jaded, a little arrogant, a little innocent, a little underrated, a little misguided. That person has truly evolved, truly grown. Some of the things that you might have been faced with 7 years ago when your back was up against the wall and you could not see your way out, or it didn't feel like there was a way out. Look at you now. Look at you now. You made it. 7 years ago, you might have been faced with some things, or some things might have taken place in your life, might have impacted you. You might have got hit with a blow. You might have got a gut punch, a uppercut. 5 years ago, when that situation that you thought was going to be here forever, that person you thought you could always pick up the phone and call, or get in the car and go see, or walk in the other room and be able to embrace, is no longer standing in this dimension. You made it through. That job that perhaps you love so much, or needed, or felt you needed so much, that turned your whole life around. When you didn't know what you were going to do or what you were going to face, you made it. You made it. That relationship that you thought would bloom and blossom and fulfill that life dream, that became a dream defer. And you didn't know, as our dear sister Toni Braxton would say, how I could breathe again. Not only did you learn how to breathe, you learn how to fly high in the sky, very high. That self-love that you so generously gave away to everyone in your life because you were lacking so much of it for yourself, in the hopes that perhaps you can get a glimpse of that reflection of that energy back to yourself, you finally have learned how to love yourself. And in the words of our dear sister, Celine Dion, you learn how to love yourself back to life. From the darkness back to life. You have learned how to love yourself back to life. Back to life. And here we are at this gateway, because the gateway is open, and it's been open for some days. We have this total solar eclipse. And all of us can feel the calling, the pull from the animals to the elements on the planet of the North Star, calling us forward to move forward in our lives. That North Star, the same North Star that we see in the sky, the same North Star that has been depicted throughout history and throughout sacred texts, the same stars that sits over the pyramids in Egypt, the same North Star that sends us into the star system Sirius. You feel the calling. You feel the calling. You know the calling. You know that it is there. And so I wanted to come on tonight because this is truly the rise of you. This is the rise of the future you, because everything that you think and you feel and that you act upon, that you reject, that you denounce, that you raise up, that you move forward is going to be a part of the future you, because you are building the future you now. It's happening now. Everything. You will notice that there are many glitches that are going on at this particular time. And these glitches are happening not just external, but I want you to begin to recognize these glitches that are happening inside of you. Like you're getting an extra split of time. You know, many people speak about this, and I can speak about it too. When I was younger, and I was in a pretty bad car accident. And many people speak about this before some sort of accident or something tragic is about to happen. It's like everything slows down and things begin to start moving into slow motion. And if you are getting into a NDA, then you will start to see your life begin to flash in front of you in between those moments of things slowing down. But I want you to be very present. I want you to be omnipresent at this moment in your life, because you're going to be able to see where things are slowing down. And as they're slowing down, what it is giving you an opportunity to do, it is giving you an opportunity to do something different. It is giving you an opportunity to rise, to get ready to rise again. You see, it's a reason that we have this celebration, no matter what your level of understanding of Easter or Estar, this celebration come about of the resurrection. It is a reason why this is happening so close to this particular time. And every year you get an opportunity to go back and reflect and make a decision. Will you rise or not? Sometimes we cloud our own magic by getting caught in the story. You know, my mother would say, and I know many of you heard this saying growing up, you can't see the forest for looking at the trees. You can't see the forest because you are stuck on that one tree. But there's a whole forest, but you can't see it. So I want you to think of it as this way. We have already gone through the rebirth. Now, here is the conundrum. Will you rise as the sun shall rise again during this eclipse? Or will you die as the moon will fade to black? And this is a question that you will need to ponder for yourself over these next couple of hours. Will you rise? Or will you fade to black? This is why I wanted us to come on as a soul family to sort of have this pre-celebration. It's not a full celebration. We're not going too far. We're not getting too cocky. We're not getting too arrogant. We're not trying to figure it out. We're not jumping out in the middle of the street. We're not doing that. But we are recognizing that we are in the midst of a rise. But before the rise, there will be a fall. How do we know this? How do you know this? Because it has been written. It has been written for all of us. It has been written for all of us. But just because you fall, as Aaliyah would say, you pick yourself up and you try again. If at first you don't succeed, then you pick yourself up and you try again. And you try again. You have done the work. And I would say that for most of you here. But even if this is also very new to you, or if this is just now becoming something that you are taking serious. See, when we take something serious, we are activating that star Sirius within us. We are raising our consciousness to it. It becomes serious for us. Then you begin to change. You begin to do something different. Everything starts to change. And you allow yourself the opportunity to become very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. We say we are moving outside of our comfort zone, but in the words of my dear brother Drake, we gon' see. We gon' see. Because that's the kind of courage it's going to take. That's the kind of discipline. That's the kind of dedication. That's the kind of self-love it will take. And at any moment, if it gets too much, if you find the turbulence of riding the cosmic waves are too much, have no fear. You can always go back to where you were. It will be up to you. There is one thing about seeking guidance and counsel, but you got to do the work. And so time is out. If you're not ready to do the work, get out. Get out while you can. Stop pretending and get out, because you're going to have to do your work. And that does not equate to just things outside of yourself. This is the work of the things inside of you. Remember, reality starts on the inside. On the inside. not on the outside. And then you're going to have to take action because you are responsible for all of the dimensions and vibrations that you live in and that you seek. And you must take responsibility for it. The beauty is everybody gets to do it their way. I will tell you, there is some different standards that I will be holding myself to. And as someone who we are all connected and you're seeking sort of that consultation and support from me, then that's what I'm going to give you. I will give it to you with love, but I'm not going to bullshit you and I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I think for far too long we have tricked ourselves, many of us, out of our own power of who we are and what we're capable of. But remember, we all have unlimited potential. But if you are not invested in yourself, then guess what? It's not going to work for you. It's just not going to work. And I say this to you in the most loving way. The most loving way. And the reason is because I know how deep within your heart that you want to transcend and transform a lot of things that you have created and been susceptible to in your life. But the first step, I will remind you, is taking full responsibility, not for the things that have happened in the past, but where you are right now so that you can move forward. If you cannot identify your true and authentic location, then you cannot move forward. And I received so many emails over the last couple of days. And I'm truly honored at how many of you have really been putting in the work because you are seeing that glimpse of light, that breakthrough, that hope. So I'm telling you, you got to hold the line. You can't let up. This is not the time to sit down and take a break on you. I'm not talking about manifestation. That's easy. That's the end state. But what good is it to have manifested all of these things in your life and you are completely out of your mind, where you have no awareness or insight of who you are? Of who you are. The truth of the matter is we are constantly manifesting all the time. But we are constantly learning all the time. But remember, knowledge alone does not cause transformation. You can have all the knowledge in the world, and it doesn't mean anything. You can spit them facts, be good at remembering, be good at repeating. That doesn't cause transformation. That will not get you into a higher consciousness because you can remember and repeat. You have to do alchemy from within yourself. And you will know because you will see the changes within you. You won't be angry at the same things. You won't be so triggered by the same thing. You will not be out of control in your own being. And no matter how challenging the situation is, you will always be able to find your way back to you. And by no stretch of the imagination am I telling you this is an easy feat. It takes work. It takes work. It takes work. You are supposed to be a practitioner of your own divine spirit, a practitioner of you, of who you are, recognizing that nothing on this planet supersedes the God within you. Nothing. And at the same token, also recognize that when you are greeting another, that they have that same God consciousness, awareness, abilities within their being as well. And so we can acknowledge each other as such. So this solar eclipse is a new moon. And this solar eclipse is a new moon for a couple of reasons. One, because we are talking about the sun. We are talking about the sun, the most powerful star in our galaxy. Because the sun is a star, just like you are a star. But the sun, that is the most powerful star. In fact, there is a portion of the sun that is within you. Your solar system is in alignment with the sun. So solar eclipse occur only with a new moon. A new moon. See, this ain't your old moon coming around. This a new moon. This your new moon. This ain't that moon that you experienced a month ago, 10 years ago, when you were a child growing up, or even last month. This is that, yes, Priestess Nadra, it's that new. This is a new moon. The Trinity is being formed in the cosmic sky. So we have the sun and the moon as it begins to orbit around the earth. And the three of them, these three celestial bodies, are ready to get in formation. They're getting in formation. This is the formation that you have ordained before you were born here on the planet. You requested this. You wrote this in your Akashic records at this time. And so the call of action is, what did you write it for? What are you going to do with this moment when you will die? Surrender to all that you know yourself and believe yourself to be. And you're ready to rise. 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 You're ready to rise. But this rise is a little different. It's a little different because your consciousness is different. Your awareness is different. Your experiences up until this point is different. It's different. You're in a different location. It's different. Many of you might have, noticed over the course of the last 24 days that you realized that there was something you struggled with, you've overcome. And suddenly you are presented with another challenge. See, this was your first step into this initiation of this total solar eclipse. So you got to celebrate that. You got to celebrate it. No matter how small you see it, no matter how long you've been struggling with it, you have to celebrate that, and you have to learn at this point how to be your own hype person, because there will come that moment of darkness. And I'm telling you this here so you can have this awareness and be prepared. And you're going to question everything about you. You're going to question you. You're going to question, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? You're going to question, am I really going to be able to pull this off? You're going to question, do I even know what the hell I'm really doing? You're going to question that. You're going to question, is this really the right relationship for me? You're going to question, should I really quit my job at this time? You're going to question that. You're going to question, was that really my grandfather in my dreams? You're going to question, should I really invest this money into this? You're going to start questioning things. Questioning things about yourself. When that happens, I want you, and many of you have heard me say this, I want you to know that this will be a spiritual marker for you. See, we want to note, we want to annotate, we want to write things down, and we want to make sure we get it all scripted when things are going as we want them to do or be. And that's a great thing. I want you to note those things. You should be writing it down. But I also want you to pay attention in those times when you begin to question you, because it's really far and in between that we question ourselves. But I want you to do that so much more. It has really allowed me to accelerate myself on my path. And it has kept me, dare I say, out of some dark, dark, tricky ass situations and places. Question yourself. Don't be afraid to question yourself. It's going to be important because this will be a spiritual marker for you. Because after that, you will make a very conscious decision, one that's in alignment with both your higher self, the intel from the intellect, as well as the intuitive higher self, the heart. And we can all come into agreement of what direction we're going to move in. Because you will have that moment. You might have a moment where things just don't go as planned. In fact, it just doesn't go nowhere close to plan. Its operation, not so much. It failed. It didn't work. Then you must question yourself again. And through that questioning, it's not to give up. Never give up on the goal or never give up on the dream. A lot of times it's about giving up on the way. See, we all want the way, but sometimes you are using the mind that is limited to its understanding, and we try to force our way. And right now, our world, our society have many tools for us to force things, even things of forcing our consciousness. There are so many things to overstimulate the mind into believing it has raised its kundalini, its consciousness, its awareness, only to find out you were on a bad trip. A bad trip. But there is still something that can be learned from any trip that we are taking. One, if you are leading with love, because this is going to be your anchor. Self-love is your North Star. So no matter how lost you become on the terrain, no matter how many wipeouts you get from the waves, you will always be able to see the North Star and know how to align yourself and get back on the course. But if you put yourself in the position where you can no longer find the North Star, you will feel there is no way out. And so self-love must become a part of your practice. It is your North Star. Love of self. I'm not talking about looking yourself in the mirror, talking about how fine you are. I mean, you might be fine, right? I think we all should feel we fine. We look good and want to look good. But I'm talking about something that goes much deeper into that. I'm talking about loving yourself enough that when the waters get rough, when it seems like the views have been blocked, you are able to very, very lovingly, very courageously, very solidly be able to love yourself back to life. You have to know how to do that. When children are babies, one of the things that my mother told me when I had my first child, my son, was I needed to be able to put my son in the position so that he could learn how to self-soothe. All babies need to learn how to self-soothe themselves. And some mothers feel that how children self-soothe is to let them cry themselves to sleep. That doesn't teach a baby to self-soothe. That teaches a baby to cry themselves and know that no one is coming. That may send the wrong message. Self-soothing is when a mother or a father has a baby swaddled, holding within comfort, and allowed the child to fall asleep, and giving the child the comfort of knowing that when you are asleep, when you are not aware, you are still being protected and guided, and I am close by. So, a lot of parents put children to sleep to get them out of the way. See, energy is real, but when you put babies to sleep, because you know that rest is essential for them, and you are in the position where you are secure in what you're doing for that child, that baby will have comfort that you are there. So, learning how to soothe yourself through these moments, through these ups and downs, and through these moments of doubting ourselves, or through these moments of questioning ourselves. The problem is we're still learning how to soothe ourselves, even as adults. J. Michelle said, "Thank you for letting me know I'm actually doing something right as a mother." Of course you are. How beautiful. Yeah. Brother Land says, "I have 5 children and every one of them slept through the whole night as babies. My son did. My daughter didn't, but even when she was up, she was not screaming and crying. We have to create the right atmosphere. You see, because babies understand about atmospheres. They understand about frequencies and vibration because they are so connected to it. And they can tell if they're in a frequency and a vibration where there are things that are out of alignment. Also, babies are crying because this is their first form of communication. And so they're letting you know you got to get yourself together because it's time for me to eat. You got to get yourself together because it's time for you to change me. You have to get yourself together because it is time for me to bathe. You need to get yourself together. This is why new parents often say, oh, we had to grow up when we had this child. Right. In other words, you had to get yourself together. And our children often teach us about places in our lives where we have not pulled it together. And if you see something wrong in the generation of children of today, it is because there are many places in our lives that we didn't never pull ourselves together. And so the answer to us not pulling ourselves together, we ran to any system, any school of thought that will excuse bad adult behavior. And we gave everyone a trophy for the minimum amount of work. We gave that of boys and that of girls to everyone who cried, who said, I'm here, no matter how much work they put in or how less work they put in. And this is how we ended up in the world that we have as we know it today. That everyone gets a trophy for doing nothing. But what is happening is we are waking up. And we're waking up knowing, many of us, that we came here to make a difference. And this is where we are. But it's going to require you to do your work. And I know if you're listening to this, whether it's your first time or whether you've been here for a long time, you're not afraid of the work. And so the challenge that I put before myself and I put before our whole community here is that we've got to start doing our work for real. Like, literally, when it comes to loving ourselves, when it comes to this internal work, there's no days off. Because see, we have moved past the time where everything is about us. We are stepping into this void of unknowing, the rise of you. We are stepping into this new energy where now it's about all of us. It's about the whole collective. It's about who's going to be those front runners, those light workers, those star seeds. Where you at? It's kind of like warriors come out and play. And so now you got to suit up and you got to come out and play. And so a lot of that stuff that you should have took care of, that you didn't take care of, you got to bring that with you. You got to bring that with you, and you got to work on it on your downtime, because now there's something new being required for you to move forward. And I don't want anyone to get this twisted. This is not about a title. This is not about you having a community. This is not about you building just businesses. It is not about that. This is about all these things in your life, no matter what it is. If you are a person that is willing, and we have talked about this, to bring light to this world. I don't care if that light is only you and Foo and your little apartment. That is what you need to stay dedicated to. Because everyone here, if you're listening to me, now I can't speak for the rest of the galactic community, but I can speak for here. I know that you are here because you know you have something inside of you. That North Star that wants to be birthed and born through you. Yeah, Foo. That's right. You know, little fluffy Foo, you know? But there's some other things that's going to be brought into the mix, and this is this energy of what I like to call M&Ms. Now, I haven't had an M&M in I don't know how many eons. No shade to anybody who eats M&Ms, but I haven't. I can't remember. But M&M is coming. Yeah, Mars, Mercury, mixed with Saturn. And when these three forces get together, it is slapping down everything that is not authentic from you. It's going to get slapped. It's going to say, try again, do it again. That's not it. That's not you. And that's okay, because we're going to keep getting up until we get that God particle to be fully illuminated from within and continue. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. So please don't email me. Like, I'm not up for these games. Please don't email me and tell me you figured this out. I mean, if you really think you figured it out and you jumped into that spot, then hey, by all means, I'm going to be on the good ship Lollipop right with you. But I promise you, for all of us, I don't care how great you think you are right now. I don't care how badass you think you are right now. I don't care what riddle you done solved right now. I don't care what code you done cracked right now. I don't care what astro realm you done been zipping and zooming through. There is more. There is more. And contrary to popular belief, it's not all about you. See, that's another reason why the sun is getting eclipsed. Because this is a part of our ego. It's a part of us that we feel that we need, that we need, but it requires things from people, places, and things. And that is getting reset. Because in order for this to work, that has to get reset. So, I talked about this many years ago, and many of you may remember. We have to learn how to grow, not just when somebody pisses us off. That can't be the only time you grow. You can't. You can't. Love you, healing coach. The realist of this transition, Ms.Blue. Wow, thank you. You cannot let that be the only time you grow, is when something goes to the left, when something doesn't go right. You have to learn how this is a portion of that, to allow that inspiration from within to inspire you to take inspired action. In fact, this is what I would encourage us to do, to be taking inspired action, meaning the spirit inside of you moved, and not be so nicked by what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is saying. Keeping your frequency high This is my jam. This is my shit here. When it comes to raising your energy and your frequency and your vibration, for over 20 years, I have been carrying this about we got to relearn about our emotions and what those things are and how to raise our frequency and our vibration. That new world that you're looking for is not coming. It's not around the corner. It's here. And what separates you from that reality to another reality is your frequency and your vibration. You could literally, and we've talked about this for over 10 years, laying in the bed with someone. You can be on the new earth and they can be in the old world. There's a show that we did several years ago called Welcome to the Fifth Dimension. And we talked about that. I went into detail about that. So if you're looking around thinking you're going to be skipping down the block, you can be skipping down the block. By skipping down the block. Just be okay if you're the only skipper on the block. Just know, you might be the only one skipping. And it's nothing wrong with the people who decided not to move down the block. Yeah. So, I wanted to come on our sort of pre-celebration of the rise of you, the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse. That's happening. I want to say this. Make sure you like and subscribe because we don't do advertisements here, especially when you ain't never been here. See, this is the thing that I'm talking about. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you support and that you're not just coming in spaces and places for your own personal agenda. We don't do that here. We don't. So, if you found some value, it's over 250 people in the Blue Room, and I thank you all for your presence. I thank you all for your energy. I thank you all for doing the work. I thank you all for the love. And to support, if anything here has touched you, has connected with you, has resonated with you, that you click that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, that you subscribe. And also shouts out and thank you to everybody who has been passing the show on and the platform on to let everyone know that, we are here and doing this work. I've been doing this work for over 20 years, and I'm grateful to be now in some new spaces. I tell you a lot of these things because, again, I share with you as a late bloomer. And all of the work and all of the things that I have shared with you, these are things that I have shared with you because I have shared these things with you because these are things that I have come in contact with. Not every single one I have experienced, but I have definitely contacted. But all of the things that I tell you, I am doing those things. I am walking the walk and talking the talk. You understand? Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And making sure that we are in love with the thing that is authentically coming from us. Because right now we are looking for the God particles to show up. This is what the planet needs at this time. We need the rise of the God particles that are inside of you. And, you know, if the pipeline gets filled up with everybody doing the exact same thing, you know, the divine has a way of eliminating copycats. We only need one particle coming in this essence or one particle coming in that essence. It doesn't mean that you won't be doing the same thing as someone else, but it needs to authentically be coming from you, meaning that inspiration, that movement, and how those things are being processed and put together, it is coming from the essence of who you are. And so therefore it is coded with your light code. It's coded with your God particle. It's coded with your essence. And just like the puzzle pieces, it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. That puzzle piece is easily slid into its rightful seat, its rightful place, because there is only one. That is the true Alpha and Omega. That is the true beginning and the end. That is the true God, Goddess, head. That is the true essence of who you are. This is what is needed, because we can have as many, and we're going to have so many people who are here to assist us from our aliens. And by no means am I throwing shade to our unidentified alien brothers and sisters from other realms and other dimensions, because I know myself to be as well. But what I'm telling you is here in these avatar bodies, in this physical avatar body that I am in, I am willing to do that. I am willing to show up and be as I am. And you too must be willing to show up and be as you are. Because we can have ancestors, we can have angels, we can have gods and goddesses, we can have enlightened beings, but none of them can change the consciousness on this planet. It is not a part of the agreement. And when you study these esoteric and these occult knowledges, you will understand that. So if you're getting all of your information and it's only coming from those beings that are beyond, and it is not at some point coming from you, then that cannot transform this world that we're living in. It is only there to assist you. It is a tool to you. It is not here to take over your life. It is not here to make decisions for you. That is not the purpose of what it is here. Your actions, your intentions, your thoughts, your motives, your deeds. This cannot come from a secondary source, because that secondary source is not the one who has embodied this avatar that you are living in. It has to come from you and your consciousness. So if you want to know how to make this shake, it's got to come from you. So recognize that the one, the Alpha, the Omega one is you. That is you. And I know a lot of the world still has a hard problem understanding that. But if you do your due diligence to get you a solid foundation on this, and you can dive into all of the archives here on Planet Remix, you will be able to get that information and do that research to understand. Our ancestors did not see all of these, especially those in Egypt, as separate gods per se. They were the reflection. We all are bringing a reflection of this oversoul, this divineness within us. But no reflections, two reflections are the same. This is why I talk about the Akashic records. No, you are not Amenhotep coming back. You are not. There are some mistakes that I've made along the journey in my process of learning. And every time those things are upgraded, this is why we get upgrades and we get downloads. When you upgrade your computer, think of it this way. It overrides the last program that was there. And many of us are still holding on to things that we were taught when we were 10, when we were 11. And I'm not saying to get rid of everything, but many of those programs that we are still utilizing, running ourselves through, even when it comes to books and information, even when it comes to things that we consider to be history and a source, it doesn't have a upgraded consciousness to be able to take an eye at it. This is why a lot of people are afraid. They're scared of the solar eclipse. I heard this, and so many of you wrote me and said, please speak about the lightning striking the Statue of Liberty in New York City. Isn't this a sign? Isn't this a bad omen? Well, the answer to the question is yes. It is. If you think it's a bad omen, then that's the side of the energy that you're on. So I'm not here to discredit what someone is saying or what someone feels in their spirit, because only you know the path that you have chosen and you are taking and where you're putting your consciousness. But I want to give you another way to be able to perceive this and to understand. And a part of this takes a lot of the super consciousness to be able to understand what's going on. Number one, I'm from New York. And I know many of you are, but you don't have to be from New York to understand this. But that Statue of a Liberty gets struck by lightning more than 500 times a year. So there are signs and symbols that are happening for everyone. 500 times a year, this is going on. But I will tell you, this was something significant. And all we have to do is think about what we know about astrology and astronomy and numerology and what we understand about our own consciousness and our own psychic multisensory awareness. You would be less than a being that is aware if you thought it meant absolutely nothing, because that's not true. It does mean something. But if you are the God that is speaking to what it means, then it means what you say it means. I don't operate in a place of fear anymore. I sing that song back in the day when I was young, but I'm not young in this anymore. I'm not old in this, but I'm not young in this. That lightning that struck the torch of the Statue of Liberty. Think about what a torch does. It lights the way. It lets you know when we think about the Olympics, it's game time. It's time to get in there. It's time to move. This is what I'm getting from this. And I'm always going to give you the highest vibration possible. It is up to you. You do not have to subscribe to that, because we are all the God, Goddess consciousness within our own world and reality that we're building. And if you choose to be in another reality, you have every single right to be there. But if you are the creator, what are you creating? What is your intention in these creations? Because we've had many people on this planet who have programmed us, and this is nobody's fault, I promise you. I've been there. It's nobody's fault. They have programmed us to be in fear of everything. We have been so much in fear. We have been scared of ourselves. 90.9% of the people on the planet has a self fear of their own divine greatness. This is why myself and you, teachers, all of us that are in the work, we are constantly feeding into others and ourselves because we are attempting to lift each other up to get out of this program fear that this whole reality seems to have collapsed itself into. So the rise is not just a rise of doing what you want and building. It is a rise of expanding your consciousness, your frequency, to elevate yourself into a state of your being that you have not seen or witnessed in this lifetime. In this lifetime. Take that challenge as we go forward. Can you rise yourself to a state of awareness in your consciousness, in your actions, in your deeds, in your morals of who you are, higher than you've ever witnessed yourself, your being, to be in this incarnation? Start there. That torch that is letting you know, if you've seen it, no matter what was written about it, no matter what you felt about it, no matter what it said, it is calling you. Can you rise? Better yet, will you rise? Will you take the challenge? Because when you see the torch at the Olympic Games, one of the most competitive places from ancient times where people come and train for year after year, sometimes 4 years and longer, to be able to be among the best of the best that has ever done it, where the gods and the goddesses, the clash of the Titan, come together and they rise. Who will be the winner? Can you rise? Because the torch has been lit. And in the Olympic game, the torch never goes out once it's lit. So if you grazed your eyes on that torch, whether that was the torch that you seen on the gram, or the torch you seen in person, or the torch that you seen on the internet, however you seen the torch, it is a call to action. Will you rise? Will you rise? Will you rise? Will you take the challenge? Because in the Olympic Games, once that torch is lit and that runner comes around the track, it is game on. It's game on. It's game time, baby. It's game time. It's time to go. All that training, all those long hours, all that blood, sweat, and tears, it's time to put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. And again, I'm talking from a very esoteric and occult perspective from within you, because that's where it's got to start. See, too many times we want to be builder bees. We want to build from the outside and crumble from within. And then just like the house of cards, it all comes tumbling down. And now we're looking for the big bad wolf who came along and blew the house down. But the house was not built of brick. It was a house of make-believe. It was a house of wonder. It was a house that was built on shaky ground. It was a house that was built on a fault line. So when you see these houses sliding and slipping and sliding in California, cracking and molding because they were built on a fault. And everybody wants to run around on the planet and say, it ain't my fault. Did I do that? Yeah, you did that. You did that. So now we get a chance. We get the opportunity to do something that we have never seen or challenged ourselves to do before. Because as I started out, you are not the same as you used to be back there. You're not. And even if you think you are, I promise you, if you sit with yourself, and you get out of your mind and you stay out of your heart and you go into the lower half of your body and you tap into that higher part of yourself, there's no way you can be the same. There is no way you didn't change. And you can celebrate all of it, the wins, the losses, the lesson, the wisdom, the transformation, the understanding. And you can carry that forward with your torch. I know many of you want to know about this whole thing about celebrating the eclipse, not celebrating the eclipse. As high-spirited, aware spiritual beings, I'm going to leave that to you. Because personally, many of us have different walks because we have different purposes, divine purposes that we came to the planet for. And so for some of us, it will be sitting in that moment of silence with ourselves. It will be that moment of just being connected with family and friends and those things that are close to us. It will be being in that moment of contemplation within ourselves and of reverence of all that has been and all that has come to be. And for others, it will be something that we do need to be physically present to experience, to be able to say that we not only witnessed, but we participated in, because that soul may need that based on a past life, based on a current life, and based on future activities. We have got to get to a place where we will begin to take a chance and trust ourselves on a lot of these intricate movements. There's many things that we will need each other to assist each other with. And as the oracle here, I do a lot of that. And it's something that I love and I enjoy. But I also push you all to be present in what you're asking. Be bold, courageous, and forthright in what it is that you're seeking to understand and what you're also wanting to achieve and wanting to do. You have to do it because I know this work that I'm doing. I know these abilities that I have tapped into, all of these multisensory abilities, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, all of the clairs, all of the mediumships, talking to entities, beings, angels, ancestors, channeling events, cosmic events, as well as events on the planet. We all have the potential to do that. But as I would share this wise wisdom of many of our wise elders, I will share with you, don't fall in love with your potential, because you will never get there. You have to begin to start taking actions and being a practitioner of your craft. And I am a practitioner of my craft. I study my craft. I am a practitioner of my craft. I'm not an admirer of my craft. I'm not a wanderer of my craft. So the difference is, as a practitioner, I am my own experiment. Many people want to do a craft that doesn't involve them. And so this is how we get locked into this dimension of glass and mirrors, where we're only able to assist things outside of ourselves and we are unable to assist ourselves. This is a misuse of power. And soon it becomes a power struggle. You have to be able to take your craft and become a practitioner of that craft. Because then you don't look for people to bear witness to what it is you are presenting. You are your own witness. And everybody else can see the miracle that is within you, and you can be the magic maker that you truly are. Because you are the magic maker. There's a difference between miracles and magic. If you see a miracle, then I know that you did not participate in making the miracle. That's why a lot of people have so many warped perceptions about magic, because they don't understand what it truly is. Because they have only been privy to witnessing miracles. So they don't believe in magic. But one thing about magic, it doesn't require believement for it to be real, because the magic maker understands, because they have become their own witness. This is where self-realization comes in, and it's hard to contain a person who has a level of self-realization. And this is a misunderstanding of ego. And sometimes our brothers get a bad rap and they say, he just got a big ego. No, this is a brother who has come to a self-realization. You can't move someone who has become self-realized, because they know that they are the creator of their reality. But to whom much is given, much is required. I'm not talking about somebody who is in the lower aspects of their ego. I'm talking about brothers and sisters who understand their self-realization of who they are. And see, people want you to be quiet. They want to say you doing too damn much. Ms.Blue is all over the place. Every time I turn around, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing too much. And it's shaking them up. And guess what? I want to shake you. I want to shake you so that you can start to realize who you are. And maybe you'll start doing too much. You're always going to be too much for some people. It's always going to make them feel uncomfortable. They're always going to have something to say. But my question to you, because I am committed to always nurturing building and creating for the future me. See, the world wants you to get caught up in the moment of now. And once you get caught up in the moment of now, you will have years that have gone by and you will not have prepared yourself for the future you. We have seen this in our music industry from some of the greatest music and some of the greatest artists in the world. And they have left this planet where they have been in a dilapidated state. If that was not financially, if that was not through the material, if that was not through the mental, if that was not through the health, they have left in a dilapidated state because they have not prepared themselves for the future them. When you are creating, when you are taking action, when you are building, you should take into consideration. It would be wise for you to really open up your heart and think about the future you. How will this action, how will these words, how will these deeds support the future me? Or am I just here for a good time? Am I just here for the moment? Am I just riding the good ship lollipop train? Am I just here for this high in this moment? Am I just here for the shine? Am I just doing it for the gram? Am I only doing this to avoid me facing what I really need to be facing in my own life at this time? And this becomes a beautiful distraction, as Leilani sings. We want beautiful distractions, and social media, these portals, these gateways, even though they are great places to wake us up to who we really are and raise our awareness about our true essence of who we are, they are great places for beautiful distractions that will keep you locked into that avatar, into the lower essence of who you are, and you will find yourself wasting days and hours and moments in the present. In the present. And you think it's only for now. But when you look up, 5 years has passed, 6 years have passed, 10 years have passed, 20 years have passed, and you have not prepared yourself for the future you. I don't want you to get this twisted. I'm not only talking about the material. I want you to look at this holistically. Because see, a lot of times when we're in the moment, we don't realize that things that we say, things that we put in motion, things that we do, actions that we do, the intention behind the actions that we're doing is going to meet us in the future. So allow this to be a reminder that what you're doing now is preparing you for the future you. It's going to allow you to become wiser. You're going to become more intentional. You're going to get clearer. You're going to get sharper. Your frequency is going to raise a whole lot higher. Shit that used to bother you is not going to trigger you as much. You're going to be able to navigate around it because you know that there's more at stake than what is right in front of you. Some people have thrown their whole lives away for 3 or 4 words in the present moment, not realizing those moments would come and meet them in the future. So many people have walked away from situations and stepped out of situations, not realizing how that will impact them in the future. I'm here to be a reminder for all of us. I put the X in the building when I walk in. In fact, at the end of Remix is the letter X, so that you can never forget who you are. So, this is a beautiful time for us to be alive, a beautiful time. I know that when we come here, this is the time that you focus and you give yourself. You focus, you come here because you want to give this time to yourself. Know that you're worth it. You're worth it. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful for each and every single one of you because I know you're truly dedicated to this work. You are. So don't allow things to so easily take you off course. And have a lot of compassion because there's so many people on this planet that's in pain and they can't face the reality of what they have created for themselves. And so they're always looking for a distraction and they're always looking to distract you. That is their job. That is their purpose because it's easier to talk about surface things 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never face themselves. It's easier because then they don't have to take any accountability or responsibility. So have compassion for them and understand the doors are closing on so many people's lives at this moment. It's closing. It's closing on them. It's closing. It's closing. It's closing on a lot of relationships, on a lot of situations. It's closing on a lot of health issues. The door is closing. And that's a good thing. On a lot of things that you've struggled with, the door is going to close. The door is going to close. Can you rise to the occasion to let it close? Trust where it is. Trust what's happening. Can you just allow it to close, even though you may not know what's in front of you? There may be some dark spots, even though you can still see the North Star. The path may not be already laid out for you. But that's okay, because as long as you got your North Star and you also have a good track record because you made it to this point, Ashe to all the ancestors. There's so many people who have not come this far. Their work here is done, and they have chosen to rise in power, to rise in another form. So we say Ashe, and we thank them for their presence. We thank them for their work. We thank them for their beingness here. Because if you're still here, anything is possible. No matter what the situation, no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, no matter what is going on, no matter what people have told you, no matter if they said it's too late, no matter if they told you you're too young, no matter if they told you you don't know enough, whether they told you you know too much, no matter the circumstances, anything is possible. The records of the world have not been written, and I know this for a fact, because the person who has to write the records is you. You have to begin to start writing your records in your life. God is you. See yourself as you see God. See yourself as you see God, whatever that is for you. I know that can be a trigger word for some people. Get over it. See yourself as God. See yourself as God. You are that consciousness in your reality. That saying that came out, what would God do? That was an indirect way of attempting to get those asleep to understand that you are God. God is not interfering in you. You are God. You are creating. So you are to act as if you are. It's been told to us, left in many books and many sacred texts in different languages across the world. Ye are gods. Not meaning that there are many, meaning there is one, and each of us have a divine, unique particle within. Within. You have to activate that. You cannot bring a lower mind and doing no work into this state. It will cause you mental disturbance. And we see it all the time. Mental disturbance. Because you will feel you are in conflict with something outside of yourself and not recognizing that you have come from the source. The God particle is you. That dark matter, the God particle that science and astrophysics are looking for, they are looking for you to light your torch. Just like the torch that was lit in New York City, the Statue of Liberty is telling you, find your God particle and light the torch, because the source has been lit. We're all going to witness the solar eclipse. No matter how you choose to honor this sacred moment, we are all witnessing it. There will be no stone left unturned. Every single one of us will witness it. The energy will be felt. You will know, because you will be forever changed. Forever changed. And how that change comes about will be up to you. But one of the things that you will understand is you will not struggle with the same things you struggled with. You will not be triggered by the same things you've been triggered with. You will not be pissed off at your mama and daddy for some shit that happened when you were born. All of that will dissipate, and those things will be closed with the door. It will be as if it never existed in this time, space, and place. You will have transcend this. See, we have been pretending to rise in a lot of ways in our lives, and the truth is we have not risen. We have allowed our egos to make us believe that we have rose. But now the call of action is to do it for real. But only if you're ready and you want to. And you want to. Your questions will be the same. It doesn't mean we won't ask questions. It don't mean that we won't learn new things or have new challenges that are put before us. And it doesn't mean that life won't still life. And it doesn't mean that sometimes we might not need extra support. It doesn't mean that, but these will be new challenges. These will be new questions. These will be new things that sort of kind of get us tripped up. These will be new things that we are exploring. These will not be things of the past. We are moving from the old doctrine, old world into the new world. Many of us have been planted there, but we were still operating from the old manual. So this is the reason for upgrades, because now we all get to accept this upgrade. And this is what we're being offered. I would encourage everybody to go back and listen to the past shows that I have done speaking to this. And those past shows that I have done on this, I would recommend that you go back and listen to, is the Eclipse, What's Next? Listen to that. And then the show that was done on Friday, Energy Update Q&A. And of course, if you bookmark this one, bookmark this show and go back and listen. Book back this show and go back and listen and see and recognize. And I want to say this to everyone. You know, this is a place where everyone who wants to be here is welcome. But one of the things that I will tell you is when the lights come on, everything comes out. Everything. And I want you to remember that in your own life. When you turn that light up, because no doubt if you're here, your lights are on. But when you turn that light up, when you turn the light up, when you cut the lights on bright or brighter than they were, all kinds of things, creepy, crawly things, will start to come out at night or in the daytime. It doesn't matter. All kinds of things will come out. And this is what's coming out when you cut the lights on. When you cut them damn lights on, oh, you're going to see all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff come on. I'm going to give you a spirit animal. They've been coming up, and I know many of you emailed me after Friday night show to talk about the animals. Many of you know this is one of my favorite things too, is animal totems. I used to do lots of classes with animal totems, as well as even did some astro classes about the animal totems. But the animal totem that I want us all to work with is the circadian. I think I'm saying it right. The circadian. I want us, because the circadians, you know, those bugs that come out that make those noise, it's a symbol of rebirth, longevity, immortality, renewal, and transformation. this circadian. You will see this circadian, it's been around since the beginning of time. It is the symbol of resurrection. This circadian. In ancient times, in the Chinese dynasty, they would take this circadian and place it in the mouth of those that transition to ensure a smooth transformation to a new life. And I want us to work with these circadians because this is going to be our powerful spiritual animal. I had mentioned this. I can't remember if it was in Self-Invested. We kind of talked about it. But I want you to understand this is going to be here for the next couple of years. Yeah. So that's a spirit animal that you can begin to start working with. To start working with. Yeah. The symbol of rebirth. The symbol of rebirth. Yeah. Yeah. You will also see that every one of our ancestors had an understanding of what it meant for the circadians. So, yeah. Sammy said the bugs. Yeah, the bugs. This transformation. So I know I did a lot of talking tonight. Right now, the phone lines are still down. And I was going to take some calls to answer some questions. Before I embark or talk about that, I want to give a big shout out for everybody celebrating a born day during the month of April. And so happy born day to everybody celebrating a born day during this month, as well as I want to ring the bell for SIU, for the Self-Invested University. And I definitely want to send a big shout out to everybody in Self-Invested University that has been putting in the work, sending you so much love. Everybody who is a part of the Starlight Essence kit and attended the Cosmic Call, that is working with their liquid magic, sending you so much love as well. Everyone who has listen, I got to go look myself. The activation kit of 2024, the spiritual activation kit that is working with that. You have done your activation boards and you have got into your flow magic for this particular month. It would be a great time for you when you're doing your daily flow to connect with that. If you don't know some of these things that I'm speaking about, definitely check out the digital store. The link is in the bio to get to some of the downloadable things, tools, so you can begin to start working with that. And yeah. I don't know about you, soul family, but I am definitely ready for this moment, such as now. Such as now, your daughter. Oh, tell her I said happy sweet 16. What a beautiful time to have a born day here. So happy sweet 16 and a happy born day to everyone. So, yeah, we have did what we've come to do. I would love to hear your thoughts of what your takeaways is from this message, this channel for all of us here today, or whenever you're receiving this message, as well as you share with me some of the things that you have been noticing, picking up, or feeling that's been in alignment with this message for the time of now. Let's get some high frequency messages and put those things out. I love that we give each other the sparkles, but I really am telling you, I am loving the conversation, the dialogue, and the insight that you all are sharing on the videos after the share. So I would love to read your comments. Let's continue this conversation, this discussion of the rise of you in the comment section. I'm going to play some music so we can get ready to get out of here. I want to say thank you to everybody for stopping by, the Soul family, everyone from being in the building. I love you all so much, and I am so grateful that all of us are here to be able to be present at this particular moment with each other at this time, because we have a strong support system with all of us together. I want to shout out my moderators and send them love. Shouts out to Brother Lance, and thank you so much for your presence and your knowledge and your wisdom, Brother Lance, and your magic, as well as Brother Dante as well. Thank you for moderating, being here, and bringing your wisdoms and presence and magic. And our Sister Lola Falana, for coming and bringing her magic, her wisdom, her presence, and her insight as well. And I love you all. Let's give it up for our moderators. They come and they really help us, because we know that when the soul family gets together, the lights get turned up very bright. You know, the lights in here, baby. It's so bright in here. So bright as well. So love to all of the moderators. Love to all the superstars in the building. That's each and every single one of you. Thank you all for being a part of Planet Remix, supporting the platform, supporting me. I love you all. And I am really, really wishing all of us the highest vibes, right? The rise of you during this time. And yeah, I want to know also, you can leave in the comments how you will be rising during this particular time, because it is the time of the great awakening yet again. And really, this is the time of the grand rising of all of the light workers and soul beings on the planet. So we're going to listen to these vibes. I'm going to hop in, chat in the blue room with all of you for a moment. And yeah, I love you, soul family. I love you. I love you all so much.